This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, B'shut Chavirim, we know this week is Parshat Parah. What's the connection between Parshat Parah and Purim? Even though Mikubalim tell us that the oisiyos, the letters of Parah, Pei Reish, are similar to Purim, but there's an amazing psikta. Even though you read Megillat Esther, and you hear about Achashveirosh is taxing the people, and that's, you think that was the last you heard of him. The psikta tells us, once upon a time there was a akum, there was a Gentile who bought a cow. He bought a cow. And he bought a cow from a Jew. This cow was a very religious cow. The cow would not work on Shabbat. And when he went to the Gentile, he didn't want to work on Shabbat. So the Gentile would take a bat, he would beat him over the head. The cow would not work on Shabbat. So the buyer goes to the seller, says, what kind of bad cow did you sell me? You sold me a lemon. It doesn't work on Shabbat. It's a crazy cow. So the Jew said, let me have a word with the cow. So he whispers in the ear, he lifts up the ear of the cow, he said, Mr. Cow, you're a very nice cow. You only didn't have to work on Shabbat when I owned you, but now a guy owns you. Now you have to work on Shabbat. So the Gentile said, okay, no problem. And the cow started to work on Shabbat. So the Gentile became very scared. He said, what kind of kishuf did you tell the cow? He said, no, you don't understand. I told him the halacha. The Gentile said, really? The cow observed the halacha? Says the psikta, this man ran away. He converted. He became a Tana. And we still say over Divrei Torah and his name is Yochanan ben Torasa. Yochanan, the son of the cow. Says the Midrash, really? Are you surprised that a cow could be metaher? Zois chukat haTorah. Parah aduma could be metaher. So we see a cow could do kiruv rechokim. That's the Midrash. Comes Ramami Pano. Ramami Pano is one of the Italian Mikubalim. And he says, who is this cow? This cow was Gilgul Shel Vashti. Why the Gilgul of Vashti? Because Vashti was Mafshit Benot Yisrael Aruma, and she made the Jews work on Shabbat. So now the cow, Vashti was a cow. Cow doesn't wear begadim. Vashti was reincarnated as the cow, and she didn't work on Shabbat to be metakein, forcing Benot Yisrael to work on Shabbat. So Vashti had her tikkun. Vashti became a cow. So if you don't want to accept that Vashti had a tail, according to Gemara, in the end of the day, yes, Vashti definitely had a tail. And who was this Gentile who converted, who became Yochanan ben Torata? Achashveirosh. Achashveirosh converted, he had tikkun, and actually it's fascinating to study. B'chol HaTorah Kula, Rabbi Yochanan ben Torasa says 3 halachot, and it's precisely keneged all the deficiencies of Achashveirosh. That's not what I'm here today to tell you. The Midrash says, if you're surprised that a cow could bring someone closer to Torah, Zois Chukas HaTorah, Parah Aduma. The source of Parah Aduma is from the fact that this cow inspired the Gentile to convert. So now we understand the connection between Purim and Parshat Parah. Because the Purim story is not over, you have to know the rest of the story. The rest of the story is Achashveirosh came back to this world. He came back as Rabbi Yochanan ben Torasa, who was inspired by a cow. Therefore, we can't leave Purim until we see the koach of Parah. Says Rav Moshe Wolfson, Gematria Zois Chukas HaMelech Achashveirosh. 916. The Gematria of Zois Chukas Zod Chukat HaMelech Achashveirosh. It's interesting. One of the halachot that Rabbi Yochanan ben Torata says in Masechet Yuma is Mipnei Ma Nechrav Shilo Bizayon Kadshim, for desecrating holy objects. That's exactly what Achashveirosh did. He desecrated Kadshim, Mekelim Shonim. And Giloy Arayot, just like Achashveirosh. If you study all the halachot of Rabbi Yochanan ben Torata, it's keneged all the deficiencies of Achashveirosh. So you see, God gives everybody a chance for tikkun, even Vashti, even Achashveirosh. And that's the koach of Parshat Parah, to take a lesson even from a Parah Aduma.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.